Well, Republicans argue here.
You know what? If we could just talk about what we want to do. I really have a real discomfort level of responding to what Republicans say because they are in denial about what has happened in the country. So if you want to ask me about where we're going on this, I'm happy to respond to that. But I find it a waste of my time and yours to just be talking about what Republicans say.
Well, I want to just let you respond, though, to the argument that's being made in messaging by Republicans here, that the grounds for the impeachment...
Let it stand. Let their argument stand.
That was House Speaker Nancy Pelosi talking to Margaret Brennan for Face the Nation over the weekend. Pelosi refused to discuss Republican criticism of the impeachment trials. Her comments come ahead of a busy week for the probe. At least 9 witnesses are set to appear publicly on Capitol Hill. In that same interview, Pelosi also invited President Trump to testify. As her daughter, Christine Pelosi, writes in a new book that might just be part of the, quote, Nancy Pelosi Way. Christine joins me now from San Francisco. Hi, Christine. Welcome. So nice to have you with us.
Thank you, Tanya. Pleasure.
So your book breaks down different lessons that make up the Nancy Pelosi Way. Which lesson do you think is most relevant to today's political environment?
I think the most important lesson I've learned from my mom is to be my own authentic self. My parents, Nancy and Paul Pelosi, had 5 kids in 6 years. They took us from diapers to degrees. My mom was a very hands-on mom until most of us were in college, except my sister Alexandra, still in high school. So with 5 kids, the constant coalition dynamics, the different personalities, different needs, and different ways of treating us with equity, that is to say fairly but not the same. I think the most important thing that she taught us, and the most important thing that we can teach people coming into politics, is be your own authentic self and worry about your own self. Don't respond to what other people are saying or mischaracterizing about you. Speak your truth and be true to yourself.
And do you think that is something that she uses when she is confronted with many of the personal attacks that the president has levied against her? Some of the things that he has said about her are, beyond political or professional criticism. They veer into the personal.
Well, listen, Nancy Pelosi has been in office for many years in leadership. She understands that the price of leadership is to bear the brunt of personal criticism. As she always says, criticism and effectiveness go hand in hand. When you look at the last election cycle, 137,000 negative ads against her, and yet she just withstood it all, focused on protecting our health care, focused on the message of working for the people, and she just shrugs it off because for Nancy Pelosi, why is she spending time absorbing criticism when she could be spending time focused on the needs of the people? Being upset about being criticized isn't going to feed hungry children. It isn't going to clothe homeless people. It isn't going to cure sick patients. What is winning elections so that you can make progress in the lives of the people.
Yeah, I'd like to delve into that a little bit more, because we just heard your mother earlier in that soundbite with Margaret Brennan say she doesn't want to discuss what Republicans have to say when it comes to impeachment, the criticisms of the impeachment inquiry. And as you just mentioned, one of the chapters in your book is, remember, criticism and effectiveness go hand in hand. So what is the tool that she uses when being criticized? Does she absorb the criticism and think about it and respond to it, or does she deflect it, as we saw her do sort of there in that bite with Margaret Brennan?
Well, her stature as the Speaker of the House means that she's speaking on behalf of the House Democratic Caucus, which had a great victory in 2018, bringing in a very diverse group of people who empowered her to speak for them. So if she's going out there to speak for the House Democratic Caucus, the Republicans can send somebody out to talk about themselves. This isn't a matter of having a debate. There's always a debate in politics. You always know what the other side is saying and can preempt it or respond to it. But I think it's important for everybody. This is debate 101. You go out there and speak your truth. You go out there and talk about who you are, what you believe, and what you care about. If, for example, we were trying to save the Patient Protection and Affordable Care Act all through 2017 and 2018, we were responding to criticisms only, rather than getting the job done and sharing the personal stories of the people who need Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid, we would have lost the election.
Right.
So you have to define your own message and speak to your own possible solutions.
So your mother had reportedly agreed to holding the speakership for a maximum of 4 years in order to secure enough votes to become Speaker of the House. Is she planning to stick to that? Do you think her handling of this inquiry changes anything in regards to her timeline?
Nancy Pelosi is a woman of her word, and let us hope that we win the House in 2020 so that she will be Speaker again and serving with the Democratic president.
And has she discussed
That's
with
my
you?
goal.
Has she ever discussed with you what her plans might be after she is no longer Speaker of the House?
She has not, but we do know that obviously family is very important to all of us, and all of our kids enjoy spending time with her. So right now we know she's in the arena, and we wish her well. And so it's not as if you don't have differences of opinion with her, but right now we know that this is her focus. We know that the country needs her, and we are obviously very proud of her work and proud of the time that she takes with our kids, usually without us, frankly, to be honest, just with our,
Right.
just with the grandchildren.
And really quick question, what did she think of your book? Did she like it?
She hasn't read it yet because I wouldn't let her read it.
She hasn't read it yet. All right. Well, you heard it here first. Breaking news. Well, Christine Pelosi.
I told you we had different styles.
Right. Different. That's absolutely right. Well, thank you so much for joining us. Congrats on your book. And we really appreciate your time.
Thank you, Tanya.